Communications has connected.
Alright, good evening folks. We are live here with the Mr. Shift Racing League as tonight they are going to take on Michigan International Speedway here tonight for 100 laps. It will be a segment race. We'll have two 30-lap segments, and then the final 40 laps will lead us to the checkered flag, where we will see who will bring home the victory. And appropriately enough here, Michigan does have a victory lane, so who's going to be able to burn it down at the end of the line and park that car in victory lane, dead smack in the middle of the infield. As always, joining me in the booth is Alan Schoen. How you doing tonight?
You know, Art, I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully we see some good hard racing here tonight. These guys do run half a tank of fuel, one quick fix, and they're running segments, so that hopefully will keep the field together.
Well, and also on a mental side note, we have two of our own DieHard racers in here right now. The 42 of Caleb Thompson being one of them. He's currently holding down the second fastest spot. And then we also have the two of Mike Major, who I race with all the time. He is my personal crew chief, my spotter. He helped me out in the NIS. We got a top 10 finish with it here at Michigan. He is in the 2 car tonight, so that'll be another guy to watch out for, whether it be for position or getting in the wall. Either way, it doesn't matter because Mike really knows how to run these cars. But it's definitely going to be interesting with the competition cautions at lap 30, lap 60, and then the final run from 60 to 1 or 61 or whatever it starts at to 100 to finish this one lap tonight. As you stated, they are running half fuel, and there is one quick repair. So typical rules apply here, but this was originally going to be a recruitment race. We've got 13 drivers right now, it's showing in the field, so this actually should make for a pretty good race here. So you see the 3 there, David May. Right in front of him is the 2 of Mike Major. And props to Mike for finding the right number font and always rocking that Jack Daniels paint scheme he's got on the, well, the only thing he doesn't have that on is the truck, because he refuses to give up the Captain Morgan paint scheme. I don't blame him because of the wood grain that's on it. But every other car I've seen him in, whether it's a B car or whatnot, it's always the Jack Daniels. So as we're coming down to the final seconds here of practice, we will advance into qualifying. It'll be, I believe they'll do close qualifying for this because it's 2 laps, 5 minutes. So, all right, Washington State is gone to checkered here. We have the last few seconds to get a lap in here, and we will move right into qualifying. So We see the 58 there of Kevin Strandberg as he makes his way out on track. The 3 of David May making his way off of pit road now. All right, folks, sorry for the lack in commentary there, but we had the catering staff up here. Apparently, Alan ordered way too much freaking food again, so I had to go sort that out. We see the 70 there of Mike Donahue. See Mike's rocking that Bud Light paint scheme there. I believe that's the Bud Light with lime. Looking at the times right now, the 10 of Ken Richardson has got the fastest lap with a 36.803. The 09 of Daniel Hill, he's at a 36.854, so there's only 2 drivers right now that are able to run 36.8.
That 70 with the Bud Light with lime has a little bit of bright front fender damage there. It looks like he may have caught the wall during qualifying.
He got it a couple times. As you can see right there in that shot, there's some heavy damage after that second contact. It's pretty well wore off down the whole side of the car. So we see the 10 of Ken Richardson sitting there on pit road. All right, looks like all the drivers have pretty much got their laps in, so we're going to go ahead and bring the U.S. Army Marching Band out for our nation's colors and national anthem, so please rise at this time and remove your hats. All right, fantastic job as always by the U.S. Army Marching Band, which is going to lead us into tonight's gridding order. Starting on pole will be the 10 of Ken Richardson with a 36.803. Rolling off second is the 09 of Daniel Hill. Starting third tonight will be the 94 of Kevin Fetty. The 71 of Keith Nelson rolls off fourth. John Hinchcliffe in the 28 will start fifth tonight. Eric Essery in the 37 sixth. Kevin Strandberg in the 58 seventh. Matthew Edens in the 33 will roll off eighth. Ninth goes to the 3 of David May. Mike Major is going to round out the top 10. Rolling off in 11th will be the 42 of Caleb Thompson. Mike Donahue in the 70 will start 12th. And Sean Meyer in the 66 will round out the field for tonight's race. So as the pace car is making its way around, we are less than a lap away from taking the initial green here at Michigan. Alan, how do you think these first 30 laps are going to play out? Are we going to see drivers gunning it, or are we going to see people a little bit more conservative, seeing how there are 3 stages tonight?
You know what? They're going to run a 30, a 30, and a 40. I think this first segment, I might push the car to see what it's going to do in that second segment. And maybe give me an idea that I'm going to run the car as hard as I can that first run, and then make my adjustments that I need to make for how I'm driving and where I'm driving the line. And then that second segment, I'm probably just going to chill and let the race roll out. And then that last segment, I'm probably going to roll it as hard as I can with all the information that I've collected over the first 60 laps.
Well, if it's anything like the NIS fixed was, I know that these cars are tight to start with, and they're just going to get even tighter. As the pace car drops off, we're waiting for the green flag. Green flag is out. We are underway here at Michigan International Speedway with Mr. Ship Racing League. They barrel into turns 1 and 2 for the first time. Ken Richardson's going to hang on to that top spot. The 09 of Daniel Hill right behind him. You see Kevin Fetty in the 94 making a run there on the 71 of Keith Nelson. As they go into 3, he's going to take that spot, which is going to open the door for the 28 of John Hinchcliffe, as well as the 58 of Kevin Strandberg. Excuse me there. Little bit of a sore throat going on tonight, but right now we are looking at 5th spot. That is the, well, actually 6th spot now, which is the 58 of Kevin Strandberg. So right now it looks like the front 5 have pretty much decided they're going to try and push the car a little bit and see what it's going to do there, knowing that they can do it for 30 laps, and then we will have the competition caution come out, and then once again at lap 60, so they'll be able to get some decent runs in, knowing that they only have 30 lap runs. And I know personally from running the NIS fixed that after about 30 laps there's at least a 2.25 to 2.5 second lap time fall off due to the tires here. And that's with a full load of fuel. You can only imagine what the car is going to do now that it's got half the fuel in it. So it'll be interesting to see, as we've got a little bit of action here between the 2 of Mike Major and the 33 of Matthew Edens. Right now we are watching 7th place. This is 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Yeah, Mike's come from the back of the pack. He's pulling his way up through there in that number 2 car.
Well, Mike is no stranger to knowing when to push the car and when not to. And I gotta say, he's a hell of a crew chief, and he is damn sure one of the best spotters I've ever had. I mean, during the last, I think it was 25 laps of the NIS fixed, he sounded like an auctioneer. So there was just so much action going on around me. I got a little worked up because I thought somebody had driven up into me, but it was, I apparently came down and he was able to calm me down, and he did a hell of a job getting it. Yeah, it is. That's a huge thing if you can actually calm me down. But me and Mike are pretty much like brothers. We swear our mom must have been a prostitute or something, because I mean we share the same brain cell.
as he's pulling along the outside of that 37 rig of Eric Essay.
Essery. Essay is something you write in school. So Mike Major is able to make it around the 37 of Eric Essery. That'll hand Mike the 7th spot, as we see he's going to tuck up behind the 58 of Kevin Stramberg. Let's see what he can do there. Meanwhile, out front, Ken Richardson is leading it by a 0.2 of a second gap over second of the 09 of Daniel Hill. Keith Nelson in the 71 is 1.29 back. Seems like this group right here is what the cameras want to focus on. This is 6th place through 10.
Yeah, there's still quite a bit of shuffling going on here as Mike's going to drop to the inside of the 58.
And we saw Caleb Thompson there in the 42. He's going to look low on the 33 here going into 1. It looked almost like we were going to go 3 wide for a second between the 37, the 33, and the 42, but right now Caleb's on that lower line as well as Mike. Mike's trying to pass Kevin Stramberg in the 58, and Caleb's trying to get around Eric Essery in the 37. Both of them not able to do so. Meanwhile, the 33 of Matthew Edens is right behind Caleb. Now we see Mike going to the outside. See the 37 and the 42, they're all going to opt to go up there. Now, with this being a 2-mile track, draft definitely does play a factor here, and if you can get a good line going into the corner, you've usually got the position. You can see right there, Mike's just able to drive right around the 58 as well as the 37, and we got the 09 spinning on the backstretch. He's down below the racing surface. That was your 2nd place car, but that is going to shuffle him back now. Hopefully he can get that machine up to speed and not trip a caution. But right now, that is going to move Mike Major up to the 5th position, Eric Essery up to 6th, Caleb Thompson to 7th, Matthew Edens to 8th, Kevin Stramberg to 9th. So a quick run through the top 10. It's Ken Richardson out front, Keith Nelson up to 2nd after we saw the 09 go around on the backstretch after apparently just getting loose off a turn 2. So
no, he got
did he
really
get a wall?
tight. He got really tight and he scrubbed up into the wall and sent him back down the track.
No, that's one good reason to have a quick fix with these cars, is we are now going to be 20 laps to go this time by for the first competition caution to come out here, which will end segment 1. All right, so a quick run through here of the top 10. Ken Richardson in that 10 machine. Out front, the 71 of Keith Nelson in P2. 3rd place goes to the 28 of John Hinchcliffe. Kevin Fetty in the 94 will be your 4th place car. And Mike Major in the 2 is your 5th place car right now. The 37 of Eric Essery in 6th. Caleb Thompson in the 42 7th. Matthew Edens in the 33 8th, Kevin Stramberg in the 58 9th, and David May in the 3 will round out the top 10. So as we transition, we're going to go back out to the front here, as right now Ken Richardson has a 1.1 second lead over the 71 of Keith Nelson right now. Matter of fact, let's go for a ride on the back TV panel of that number 10 car. And as we ride along with your current race leader, so that right there is what it's like to be in cockpit for a lap with your leader, as right now we're back to 5th spot as we see the number 2 of Mike Major has made it up to P4. 37 right there of Eric Essery is being scored in the 5th position. Behind him is the 42 of Caleb Thompson, and we can see that Mike is getting ready to start knocking on the back bumper of the 94 of Kevin Fetty. We can see the run that Mike got there off of turn 4. Kevin's going to dip low there. Mike's got the high line. This is the battle now for 2nd spot, as I do believe our race leader came down pit road.
Yeah, I got the 71 of Keith Nelson down here on pit road right now.
The 10 of Ken Richardson must have came down as well, because those were the front 2 cars. That will hand your lead over to the 2 of Mike Major.
Yeah, we're sitting here, we're hitting green flag pit stops. Everybody's announcing they're coming down pit road.
So Mike Major in his debut race here with Mr. Shift doing a great job. He's out there in the top dog position, and we got a caution on the track. Appears something happened with the 42 machine of Caleb Thompson. Let's go ahead and roll back the footage here to see what happened to him. Looks like he just might have gotten loose or something, or gotten tight and hit the wall, but here he is coming down the backstretch into turn 3. Everything looking good so far. See the car starting to just wash up the hill there, and I do believe there's the contact with the wall, and it gets him loose. Good job locking the car down, not hitting anything, but that is enough to trip a caution. But great job by the 42, locking it down and staying still to not bring out or collect any other cars.
Yeah, because it looked like if he'd not got a chance to really lock it down, it looked like he may have collected a couple of guys going down pit road.
And we've got 6 cars coming down pit road right now, including your race leader, the 2 of Mike Major.
Well,
let's see what's going on.
You know, these guys are only running half a tank of fuel, so this would be green flag pit stop.
Yes, it would. So this is definitely going to be interesting. We're going to see probably, what, 5, 6 pit stops?
Let's see. Yeah, because you got 30, 30, and 40.
Yeah, we're going to see several rounds of pit stops here. So as things shake out right now, the lead is going to be shifted over to the 37 of Eric Essery. Ken Richardson in the 10 will be your 2nd place car. Keith Nelson in the 71 will be 3rd. Mike Major, after having the race lead when the caution came out, will cycle back to 4th. David May in the 3 car will be your 5th place scoring car. Caleb Thompson, despite locking it down there on the front stretch, will hold on to the 6th. The 66 of Sean Meyer will be your 7th place car. The 94 of Kevin Fetty, 8th. Matthew Edens in the 33, 9th. And John Hinchcliffe in the 28 will be your 10th place car. Now, I know the 28 used to be Brian Johnson's number, but apparently he is not running in this league anymore. That used to be the, what was it, the silver and green Mountain Dew car. All right, we can see the 70 there of Mike Donahue. He is going to stay out in front of the race leader to get his lap back the old school way here. He's going to take the wave by. Right now, that Tabasco machine is definitely some hot sauce because he is going to inherit the lead when we restart this race here. And hopefully this time by when we cross the start-finish line, the lights on the pace car will go out and we'll be able to resume with about 10 laps before our first competition caution. As we see the 70 of Mike Donahue getting the free pass, he's going to take the wave by. That'll put him back on the lead lap, so that we're going to double the field up here and we're going to get them ready to go. They will restart with 10 laps until the end of segment 1 here. So right now it's going to be a battle who is going to win segment 1. My bet is on the 10 of Ken Richardson in that Arctic Cat Ford Fusion.
I think second place is going to go to the number 2 car.
Well, I was trying to rule out favoritism, but Mike definitely talking to him over in DieHard before the race started. He was talking about how shitty his driving was and how long it had been since he's been in the A car, but it's definitely not showing, as right now he is sitting in 4th spot and he was leading this when the caution came out, but due to the 10 and the 37, I believe. I think the 37 came down with the 2 car. I think he might have taken 2 tires, because I know the 71 and the 10 had both come down. That's what recycled the lead over. But we are getting ready to restart this race as they come out of turn 4. The pace car should be coming down anytime as it drops now. The 10 of Ken Richardson is going to lead us into the restart zone here. Green flag is out. Great jump by the 37 of Eric Essery as he's just going to rock it as they go down into turn 1 here. That's also going to open it up for the 2 of Mike Major if he can get around the 10. But we see the 10 and the 71 both running that low line, and you see the 10 drifting up there to get a little bit of draft, but the 2 of Mike Major is able to clear the 10 of Ken Richardson as they come out on the backstretch, but he's going to be back under fire as Ken's going to take it down to the low line here. See what happens. So now they're going to switch it up, and Mike's going to be there on the bottom. Mike's going to do the crossover. Let's see if the 10 of Ken Richardson's going to try and cross over again as they go through 1 and 2. We're looking at 1st through 10th right about here. This is the battle for 2nd spots. We see the 10 of Ken Richardson once again going to the inside as they dive into turn 3 here. He's got the drive in. He's going to take it, but Mike's going to dive down to the bottom line. He's going to make a run. Coming out of turn 4 here. I wonder if that car is running on Jack Daniels instead of Sunoco race fuel, because that thing is just absolutely hooked up.
I don't think so. Jack Daniels is not flammable. I've tried.
Quite the contrary. It is very flammable.
Then it must not have been flammable enough in this situation.
Now we have the 71 of Keith Nelson. He's going to dive to the inside as they enter turns 3 and 4 here. He's going to try and take that spot away. But in typical fashion, like I saw all throughout the NIS, if you really wanted to trap somebody down, you wanted to pin them on the low line, because it is extremely hard to make the pass here at Michigan running that low lane. You just lose so much momentum, and your drive up the corner is nowhere as good as it is running that second groove out to the wall on exit of corner. As we've got a battle going on for the lead right now, Lieutenant Ken Richardson has made his way around the 37 of Eric Essery. And now he's going to come under fire by the 2 of Mike Major. So we are 6 laps away now from the first segment ending here, as right now we see Mike's got the spot, but let's see if the 37 is going to try a crossover here on the backstretch as they come down into turn 3. Not this time, so right now Mike's still going to run that 2 machine in second position. There'll be 5 laps until the end of the first segment here at Michigan International Speedway. Meanwhile, going back to most exciting, we've got battles going on right now. We're looking at 5th place, the 66 of Sean Meyer. Behind him, we got a little bit of battling going on between the 33 of Matthew Edens, the 28 of John Hinchcliffe, and the 09 of Daniel Hill. So we see the 28 and the 33 both up on the higher line, the 9 down there on the bottom. Behind them, we have the 42 of Caleb Thomason and the 58 of Kevin Strandberg, as we're about to almost go 3 wide here on the front stretch. You can see how that bottom line just kind of stalls out there as the 09 dives to the top side. He's going to take that spot away from the 33, but as they go in, the 33 is going to try and run that low line and get the dive in on the corner, but I think we're going to see a lot of this happening. As you dive in, it's going to make the car very, very tight, and you're going to start drifting up the track, as right now 33 is about to lose ground to the 42 of Caleb Thompson. Right now, this is the battle for 8th position. Oh, a little bit of contact there between the 33 and the 42. 33 kind of ran the 42 of Caleb Thompson up into the wall there coming out of turn 2. We are 2 laps away now. So you see the 66 way up high. That's going to allow the 09 to get by. That'll move Daniel Hill back up to 5th spot. Take a look here at the 42 of Caleb Thompson, because I know he did get a piece of the wall there due to the 33 washing up and kind of knocking him up into the wall there. Let's take a look at his right front suspension view. You can see that that Goodyear Eagle is pushed about halfway out, so he's definitely got some, if we look from behind, you can, oh yeah, he definitely got a good piece of that wall there. So as we're going to cycle back out front, we can see right now Ken Richardson with a 9/10 second lead. Now this right here will end segment 1. So winner of stage 1 will be the 10 of Ken Richardson. So that's 30 laps in the books. So, with this being the end of stage 1, the way it's going to shake out is Segment 1 winner will be the 10 of Ken Richardson, Mike Major in the 2-car second, the 37 of Eric Essery third, Keith Nelson in the 71 fourth, the 09 of Daniel Hill. After smacking the wall and going around the backstretch, he will be your, well, I think people are actually coming down pitting. That or they just drove forward because the scoring loop changed up now. It's showing the 37 in third, which is correct. So there we go. The 37 of Eric Essery third, the 71 of Keith Nelson fourth, Daniel Hill in the 09 fifth, the 66 of Sean Meyer in sixth spot, the 28 of John Hinchcliffe in seventh, Matthew Edens in that 33 who we saw get a little contact door-to-door with the 42 of Caleb Thompson. He is being scored in 8th. David May in the 3 9th, and Kevin Fetty will round out the top 10. Caleb Thompson right now being scored 11th. Mike Donahue 12th, and Kevin Strandberg rounding out the field right now 1 lap down. So he is not eligible to pit this time by. So all your lead lap cars are coming down pit road right now.
And I would imagine, being almost out of fuel they are, they're all going to take 4 tires of fuel. I don't think anybody's going to really roll the dice too much here in this next segment.
So we've got a great shot here of pit road. $14.8 for the 10, but the 2 of Mike Major is able to beat him off the line. Mike Major with a, actually, yeah, Mike Major had a 14 flat as well as the 28. He also pulled off a 14. And we're looking at some couple 14-1s, a 14-4s. Oh yeah, definitely. So that's going to inherit the race lead over to the number 2 of Mike Major.
Go get him, Mike.
We can hear that 10 car clutching in right now. So they're definitely saving fuel already. As we are gonna look inside the cockpit of our race leader here. As we look behind off of the TV panel of the 2 car. And here Mike's got that thing in 4th gear, just keeping it in low RPMs. You can see little chunks of rubber there being picked up and thrown by those Goodyear Eagle tires. I got to give iRacing credit. That's one thing that they did right. Finally, for once, when you're racing around the track, these tires, I guess it's with the new aggressive tire build or whatever, when those tires heat up, you can hear rubber just smacking the living crap out of the inside of the fender wells of these cars now, lap after lap after lap. I noticed that during the NIS here, and actually a few races before that, as soon as the build came out. All the hosted races that we did during week 13, because they gave us actually jack crap to do, which they've been famous for doing the past few seasons here. But it's good to see that things are starting to like fly up off the track. And rumor has it that with the next build, they're going to be enhancing the damage model to where as these cars get beat up, parts will actually start falling off the cars, which will bring debris cautions into play. All right, so as the lights on the pace car are out, we're going to double them up. And I do believe that leader gets lane choice, so the 2 of Mike Major is going to opt for the outside line, which is the preferred line here around Michigan International. So this is going to be a very, very interesting restart. As we saw it on after the first caution that we have, the 37, he was able to get a great jump on the start here. So let's see what Mike can do here on the restart, as they will restart on lap 36.
You know, that may be an interesting thing for iRacing to turn out for debris cautions and whatnot, but that means they need to figure out how to implement hot dog and ice cream wrappers on the front grill intakes.
Well, as long as you're not racing, we don't have to worry about that.
What are you talking about? Ice cream wrappers and hot dog wrappers are flying all around these tracks.
Yeah, mainly because you're sitting in the stands throwing them.
Not I.
No, says I. All right, says the pace car gets ready to dive down pit road. Let's see what the two of Mike Major can do. He's got some stiff competition with the 10 of Ken Richardson to his inside, but Mike does have control of this restart. So there's the jump. Green flag is out. Great start by the two of Mike Major, as he's able to get easily 3 or 4 car lengths. We are back underway here, lap 36 of 100. Now we will get another competition caution here at lap 60, and that will be the end of segment 2. So right now, let's see if the two of Mike Major can stay out and win a segment here. Meanwhile, we're going to look at the most exciting cameras. We see, I believe that was the 94 of Kevin Fetty get a little piece of the wall there. And it was, he got a little bit too high there on corner entry going into 1 there, and he just kind of scraped the wall a little bit. So let's take a look at that 94 and see if he's got a little bit of damage from that, because it might have been a little bit more than a rub. And it is a little bit more than the rub. You can see the distortion there. He's got a little bit of a pop there behind the rear wheel. You can see that fender's bent in a little bit, but not enough to where I think it's going to be detrimental to that 94 car. As right now we see the 09 of Daniel Hill. He's trying to get the run there. As we see the 37 of Eric Essery, he gets a little piece of the wall there out of turn 2. That's going to open the door for the 71, the 09, and the 94 to all make a run for position. Now we're going to take a look at the 37 there, and oh wow, look at that. We've got a fairly good dent there on the right front of the 37 car. That's a little bit worse than Kevin's. That one actually triggered a hood pop, so that one might be hurt him a little bit more.
That cost him his lead.
So we're going to take a look, and once again the same telltale signs. The number 2 car, he's got that punch there over the wheel well. So that's going to give Ken Richardson the lead here again, as we will be taking lap 40 here. Now we see the 71 of Keith Nelson. He's able to get up to the back bumper, but wasn't quite able to make it, as Mike's still able to turn that car. So it appears that he didn't hit the wall a ton, but we can see that he has lost a little bit of straight line speed, as the 71 is going to duck low here as they cross the start-finish line. See if Keith can get enough speed. He's able to clear the 2 car there, so that'll shuffle Mike back to 3rd spot. And now he's got the 09 of Daniel Hill behind him. We see these cars starting to get a little bit free on exit. This right here is second, third, and fourth spot, as right now Ken Richardson has nothing but clear track in front of him. As we see the 09 right there trying to challenge it on the outside as Mike dives to the bottom. He is going to lose that spot to the 09. Meanwhile, now we're looking back at ninth spot. That is the 3 of David May and the 70 of Mike Donahue. Mike back on the lead lap. He's trying to take that ninth spot away from the 3 car.
So, and once again, within 10 laps here, we're going to see guys starting to make their green flag pit stops once again.
We see the 94 there. Looks like him and the 70 might have made a little bit of contact. So the 94 has dropped back as he was way down below the racing surface there on the backstretch. That's going to allow the 3 car to move up. The 70 and the 66 as we see right there. I believe the 37 is coming down for green flag, and I believe we have the 2 of Mike Major on pit road as well.
Yeah, the 2 car Mike Major is coming down pit road here.
So now we are watching the battle for 8th place, as now David May has moved up to 6th. The 33 right there of Matthew Eaton's in that Napa Auto Parts Chevy Gen 6. He is under fire by the 70 of Mike Donahue. Meanwhile, we also have the 42 of Caleb Thompson and the 66 of Sean Meyer. This is for 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, as right now Mike has the advantage there in that 70 car. He's going to be able to probably come up as we see the 37 coming off of pit road. But that outside line, look for them to get the run, as we've got the 70 and the 66 on the inside, the 33 and the 42 on the outside as they come off of turn 2. Now these 2 cars right here racing did make contact earlier. The 33 drifted up into the 42, and I think we see the 42 playing around a little bit with the 33, letting them know, hey, I'm down here and I remember what you did last time, so don't do it again. As the 33, he's going to try and dive low here in the corner and take that spot back from the 42. Hopefully we don't see the end result like last time where the 33 washed up, but it looks like the 42 washed up, and we're going to go 3 wide on the front stretch here.
As the 94 is coming down pit road, looks like he's going to take 4 tires fuel and probably get some of that damage fixed.
So right now, Sean Meyer is going to inherit the 6th position, as there's been a lot of swapping going on, and a thing to factor in is right behind these guys, we have the 37 of Eric Essery, who is on fresh Goodyear Eagles, versus these guys who have yet to come down pit road. So Eric right now has to work his way through the traffic here without burning up his tires at the same time.
Down pit road a little sooner than I would have expected, but hey.
Well, you gotta look at it right now. It's 12 and a half laps before our next segment ends here. So anything to get the advantage going into the end of the segment here for position-wise.
Oh, absolutely. I honestly, after that first run, you know, I saw him pull off 18, 19 laps, so I think, oh, I calculated it out, figured they'd be coming within 10, but they came a little early.
So we've got more takers down pit road as the lead has been inherited over to the 58 of Kevin Strandberg. David May in the 3 right now, holding down 2nd spot. That's going to move Sean Meyer in the 66 up to 3rd. As we see once again the 37 of Eric Essery, he is racing to get back on the lead lap. He has already taken his green flag pit stop, but he will get back on it as these other drivers here still do have to pit. As you can see right there, the advantage, we have the 58, our current race leader, coming down pit road right now, so that'll hand the lead over to David May. Eric Essery back on the lead lap as he was able to pass the 3 car, no problems, as we see the 42 of Caleb Thompson making his way back off of pit road. So right now we are looking at your current race leader, the 3 of David May. Behind him, the 66 of Sean Meyer, the 33 of Matthew Edens in 3rd place, the 58 of Kevin Strandberg right now being scored in 4th. Now we're looking at 7th spot, the 09 of Daniel Hill, and directly in front of him, the 10 of Ken Richardson. Behind them, the 71 of Keith Nelson, as we are now 11 laps from the end of segment 2 here. See if this 09 car has anything for the 10. Meanwhile, looking back further, we're looking at the 42 of Caleb Thompson. He is currently being scored first car a lap down, as it's a battle between the 42 and the 70. Both are being scored 1 lap down, so they're fighting for lucky dog if the caution was to come out. So we see the 66 of Sean Meyer making his way down pit road. David May in that 3 machine, still out front with a 9-second and gaining. As we saw, the 66 was coming down. So we also have the 28 of John Hinchcliffe. He is also coming down pit road. So right now, lone man out is the 3 car, yet to come down pit road.
Three is announcing he's going to go pit road this time. So.
Yep, there we see him right there coming out of 4. He is coming down pit road, so these guys will get their lap back now, so they will be tail end of the lead lap. Right now, the 42 of Caleb Thompson being scored in 7th, the 58 of Kevin Strandberg 8th, the 70 of Mike Donahue 9th, and Kevin Fetty there in the 94, rounding out the top 10. As we are less than 10 laps away from the end here of segment 2. So right now, as it shakes out, the 3 is still technically the leader, but he will get past. Actually, no, now he's back to 10th. Right now, our current race leader is the 28 of John Hinchcliffe. David May currently being scored all the way back there. Now we see our current race leader right there in the 28 machine. Let me see, second here, a battle going on between the 09 of Daniel Hill and the 10 of Ken Richardson. Daniel's going to look to the inside as they go into turn 3 here.
As we're looking at about 6 laps here until the competition caution comes out to end this.
Actually, I think yeah, that's right. We're now at the point where IRTBO is counting the laps down. So we've got 46 laps to go, and we will have a caution come out once we have 40 laps remaining, and that'll be the end of segment 2. And then it'll be, oh, we got the 09 scraping the wall there out of turn 2, but it didn't seem to hurt his speed at all as he's able to power to the inside of the 10 once again as they go into 3. Let's see if he can make anything happen this time around, as I do believe this time he's going to make it stick.
Oh, he stuck.
Stuck the landing. So right now, the 28 of John Hinchcliffe with a 2.7 second lead over the 09 car, as we are now going to be 6 laps away, I do believe, unless they call it exactly on lap 60 here. That would put it at 5 laps as the 28 crosses. Well, yeah, that'd be 4 laps if they call it directly on lap 60. We can see that that gap is shrinking. It's going up in the corners, but the straightaways, it's coming right back down. See, it's down to about a 1.6 there. So you can see the 09 car starting to come into the picture there. Now it's down to a 1.5 second, 1.4. The 09 right now is on a mission. He's trying to reel in that 28 car before the competition caution comes out and we end segment 2 here at Michigan International Speedway. So now we're down to about a second between first and second here. I do believe that 09 might have something for the 28 here. As they come out of 2 onto the backstretch, it's down to a 0.6 of a second lead. It should be 2 laps until the competition caution comes out, this time at the stripe. As we see, I believe the 28 there got a little piece of the wall on exit of 4, which really closed the gap. As right now, the 09 is going to dive probably to the inside here in turn 1 to try and take the lead away from the 28. And he will do so. So hand the lead over to the 09 of Daniel Hill. Daniel's looking to bring home this segment win here. We see the 28 get the wall again there on exit of 4. Meanwhile, we're looking back now at the battle for 6th spot. This is between the 37 of Eric Essery and the 42 of Caleb Thompson.
I'm just curious if that 28 just maybe drove his stuff a little bit too hard.
That's pretty much what I'm thinking.
And I think he made his tires a little mad at it.
There is no little mad here at Michigan. If you overdrive the car, those tires get flat out pissed off at you. I learned that one the hard way. As we see Caleb still trying to take that spot from the inside. He's able this time to make it up there, so that will put Caleb Thompson up to 6th position. As right now we see a battle going on for 2nd spot as the 10 of Ken Richardson is trying to take it away, and he's going to do so on the outside out of 2 here. And now we have our caution out. That will end segment 2. Your winner of segment 2 will be the 09 of Daniel Hill. All right, folks, with this being the end of segment 2, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we will return as they restart this race for the 3rd and final segment. This will be a 40-lap shootout to the finish. We are back, and in perfect timing as all the lead lap cars here you can see are filtering down pit road. So as we see everybody now coming down here, this is the camera from the pit exit cone. See everybody getting in the boxes. Right side's going up. No doubt it'll all be 4 tires and fuel here, so right side's all going up. And I've noticed this with the Gen 6 cars. We see the 10s down and away, the 09 down and away, 71, 58, 28. Pretty much the entire field. We have, I believe that's the 70 of Mike Donahue back there still on pit road. But the one thing I've noticed with these Gen 6 cars, it's almost like the Jackman is kind of drunk. As they go to do the left sides of these cars, the car kind of pivots now. It rocks back and forth, so it's almost like the Jackman isn't hitting it dead center. I noticed it during the NIS, and then I pointed it out to Mike, and he looked at it, and he's like, oh yeah, you're right, the car's bouncing. I was like, I know it's bouncing because I could feel my wheel jerk when they lift the left side of the car up.
No, what that is that your tire carrier, your tire men are too slow. You got one guy taking the front tire off, so the front end comes up before the back end does.
Oh, there we go, some words of wisdom. And that would make perfect sense right there, because that would unbalance the car as that jack. These cars are so sensitive that if you were to take, well, I'm trying to figure what an actual NASCAR rim plus the tire weighs, because I know it's probably a little bit heavier than the rims that I use. So if a standard NASCAR rim and tire is about 75 to 80 pounds, that's about 30 pounds more than the tire that goes on my crate late model. So that would definitely make enough to shift the balance of the car. So that's why we see the little wiggle of the car now as the left sides go up. It's uneven tire changing. So after pit stops happening here and the segment coming to a close, a quick run through of the field here. Our current race leader, the 10 of Ken Richardson, the 09, our last segment winner. So we've got our first and second segment winners, first and second right now. The 71 of Keith Nelson sitting in third. 28 of John Hinchcliffe right now holding down fourth spot. Kevin Strandberg in the 58 fifth. Caleb Thompson in the 42 sixth. 3 of David May 7th. Sean Meyer in the 66 8th. 37 of Eric Essery 9th. Kevin Fetty in the 94 will round out the top 10. 2 of Mike Major in 11th. The 70 of Mike Donahue 12th. And the 33 of Matthew Edens is going to round out the field in 13th spot. All right. Quick little run through here, give you guys a summary here. We've got 63 laps in the books out of 100. We've had 12 lead changes, 3 cautions for 10 laps, but those 2 cautions, you have to remember, are for the competition. So in actuality, we have only had 1 caution this race. As the lights are out on the pace car, that means we are less than 1 lap away from restarting this race with 35 laps to go here at Michigan International Raceway with the Miss the Shift Racing League. Alan, it's been a very interesting race so far. We've seen that they've had to pit inside of 30 laps. Now with this being a 40 lap stint, we're definitely gonna have to see this last set of pit stops is going to have to be the most crucial and the most importantly timed when to go down to be able to make it the rest of the way on a tank of fuel here, seeing how they are limited.
Yeah, and you know, that first segment that they did, they ran 18 laps. That was the first car down pit road. So if they can make 18 laps, they can actually split this in half.
And once again, our race leader opting to take that outside line, so look for the 10 to make the good jump there on the start so he gets a good distance between him and that 09. Both the 09 and the 10 have been proven to be very, very fast. So as the pace car gets ready to dive down pit road, we're going to let these guys light the fires and kick the tires, and let's go. Green flag is out. There's the jump by the 10. We are back underway. 35 laps to go here at Michigan International Raceway.
Who in the 9 must have missed a shift or something there, because they split him and ran him down.
Well, that's right there with the league's motto. If you haven't missed a shift, you ain't racing.
As he just calls out over the radio, sorry guys, it wouldn't go into gear.
Might be a Logitech G27 shifter there, because I know I had a ton of problems with that happening until I finally upgraded to the Fanatec SQ 1.5. Now I know exactly when this car is in gear, and it will not let you go in gear unless you are fully committed to it. So definitely a crucial thing, almost as important as your wheel and pedals, is having a good shifter. You can have the best wheel, the best pedals on the market, and if your shifter is not up to par, you can have exactly what happened in the 09 where he missed a shift there on that restart. Right now we are watching the battle for 7th spot. Right now that 3 of David May being scored in 7th. He's under fire by the 66 of Sean Meyer, and behind him the 37 of Eric Essery. Looking a little bit further back in the field there, we see the 2 car of Mike Major as he's making his way around the 33. They almost touched down the backstretch. Meanwhile, we got the 37 and the 66. They've teamed up. They're going to try and go around the 3 here of David May. The 37 is definitely clear, but he wants to bring that 66 with him because draft is very important here at Michigan. But as we see now, the 37 is going to go up and tuck behind. We see the 3 give him a little bit of a bump there. It's going to knock the car a little bit out of alignment, but directly behind them, we've got the 2 of Mike Major battling it out with the 33 of Matthew Eatons, as it's still a battle now. Mike's got the position, so now he's going to line up and try and join in here on the party against the 3 car. On that restart, Mike was scored in 11th spot. He's managed to take 1 spot away. Now he's going to try and get up there and get another spot, as he is right there at the back bumper of the 66. Now that we see the 33 is tucked in behind the 66, that's going to push the 33 in front, so that'll put Mike back to 11th, but he's going to make that dive there in the corner again and try and make it stick as they come off of turn 2. As he gets a little bit of the apron there, that might have slowed down that number 2 car a little bit, as he has to tuck back in behind the 33, as the 66 is still trying to work over that 3 car. The 37 made it by no problem. Seems right now the 66 is having a little bit of a tough time trying to make it around the 3, as we see the 33 drifting up the track a little bit. That's going to open it back up for the 2 car of Mike Major. Now we got the side switched here, the 66 on the outside and the 3 on the inside. 66 now able to make the pass, so now we're going to see what Mike can do here. Are they going to split 3 wide on the backstretch, or are they going to try and make it just double files? Mike's going to go. He used the 3 there as a pick against the 33, so that's going to give Mike 2 spots as he's able to motor by the 3 car. So that was a very smart move there on the 2 car's part. He trapped the 33 behind the 3, and now the 33 and the 3 are going to have to battle it out. So give 2 spots to Mike Major. Oh yeah, that was very close right there. So move Mike Major up to 9th spot, David May back to 10th, Sean Meyer up to 8th, Eric Essery to 7th. So out front, it's a 1.5 second lead that Ken Richardson has over the 09 of Daniel Hill, as we are 25 laps to go here. Now, keep in mind, these guys do have to pit one more time. They cannot make it the rest of the way, so we should start seeing green flag pit stops right around probably the 20 lap to go mark. We saw them at lap 18 in the first segment, and we saw a little bit earlier in the second segment, but this one here is going to be the make or break.
The real question is how many of these guys may try to roll the dice on 2 starts.
That's a good question right there. Strategy is definitely going to be key here in the final segment. Winning the first one and winning the second one is one thing, but winning the final one, that is the most important. So right now we're looking at the battle for 4th spot between, as we see the 42 of Caleb Thompson there, get the wall again out of 2. Now we're looking at 3rd and 4th. And now we're back to 11th as we see the 33 has slid back quite a bit after getting pinned behind the 3. He's still not able to make anything happen. Behind him we have the 70 of Mike Donahue and the 94 of Kevin Fetty. And right now we're looking at 6th spot. That is the 37 of Eric Essery, as we see little action going on up there between the 42 of Caleb Thompson and the 28 of John Hinchcliffe.
Now, if Robert was here, what do you think he'd do?
That's a loaded question. And honestly, with the way this is in segment racing and half fuel, I honestly don't know what Robert would do in this circumstance. As we see, the 28's down. He's going to be, I believe, one of the first takers on pit road. So that will move the 42 of Caleb Thompson up to 3rd place for the time being. So we see the 33 now. He's still trying to work over the 3 car. As we see the 70 behind, he's going to look and try to do something. As we see the 94 on the back end of the field there.
That's 28 to 58 down on pit road now. Both cars are taking.
You see now a little bit of a battle between the 94 and the 70 as Kevin Fetty's going to try and take a spot away from the 70 of Mike Donahue. That is for 8th position, as Kevin Fetty is able to make it around the 70 of Mike Donahue, so give 8th spot to that 94 machine. So we see the 28 making his way back out on pit road. So that will move the 42 of Caleb Thompson up to 2nd position for now. The 10 of Ken Richardson, the 42 of Caleb Thompson, and the 37 of Eric Essery. All of your time. Oh, as we get the 28 in the wall. That could have been ugly right there, but he kept it up in the wall, so no caution, as we are now 20 laps to go here at Michigan International. It looks like Kevin suffered on that, as the 70 and the 33 was able to make it back around the 94, but Kevin is still sitting in 8th spot. Meanwhile, we're looking right now at your current race leader, the 37 of Eric Essery.
The 10 of Ken Richardson is on pit road. He's taking 4 tires and fuel and turning away.
And looky who's in second spot, the 2 of Mike Major. So we have 2 of DieHard's own in the top 3 right now. We've got Mike Major in second and Caleb Thompson in third. So you see the 70 of Mike Donahue. Is he going to be able to stick it?
This time.
So that will hand your lead over to the 2 car if he does not come down pit road with the 37.
Here reports from 94 and 3 as well.
So we have the 3 of David May coming down. We have the 70 coming down, the 94 coming down.
Looks like maybe the 66 as well. I can't tell from this angle.
So right now, hand the current race lead over to the 2 of Mike Major. Caleb Thompson second, and the 66 of Sean Meyer third. Right now, Ken Richardson is being scored in 10th spot with that number 10 machine. But the front 3, I still believe, well, I know the front 3 for sure still have to pit, so.
That's 94, the 3, the 70.
So we got the 2 and the 42 on pit road right now. So race leader and second place, that'll hand the lead over to the 66 of Sean Meyer. So you see the 3 of David May making his way off of pit road here, as well as the 70 of Mike Donahue and the 94 of Kevin Petty as they're getting back up to speed. Right now, that 33 machine is being scored in second spot.
Both the DieHard boys, 4 tires, fuel, and they're both down and away.
You see the 33 get the wall there, so the 70 of Mike Donahue had to cut all the way down to the grass to avoid that one. Great job by Mike on that one.
I do have the 66 coming down.
So that puts, right now, the 33 of Matthew Edens as our race leader right now. As we see the 3 car David May, he's going to go around the 33 and get his lap back. He is on fresh tires. The 33 has yet to come down pit road. There'll be 15 laps to go, this time by at the stripe.
.33 is coming on pit road now.
All right, now this is the battle for 7th. Right now, Caleb Thompson, that 42, is holding down 7th, but he's got the 94 of Kevin Petty on his inside. So we're looking back now at 10th place, the 70 of Mike Donahue. So pretty much now, with everybody coming down and making their final pit stops, everybody has pretty much made their bed, and it's going to come down to who can save their tires and, more importantly, keep their car off the wall and out front and stay fast enough to bring home the checkered flag here tonight. As we've seen, this being a 3-segment race, we've had 2 different winners. We had the 10 of Ken Richardson as our segment 1 winner, and the 09 of Daniel Hill, who's currently being scored as our race leader. He was the winner of segment number 2. So right now, the 09 has a 0.6 of a second lead over the 10 car right now. So that's actually dropped down, as I believe the 09 is down on pit road. That will, I do believe, hand the lead over to the 10 of Ken Richardson. So we got a car around on the backstretch. Looks like he was able to either refire or he brought that car to pit road by towing. Nope, he was able to refire. That was, I believe, the 09. I think the 09 just got loose, so we're going to have to take a look at that right there. That was our race leader. So looking at it here, he's going in the 1 and 2 here. Let's see if he just gets tight again and hits the wall, because he did do this earlier in the race. He went around and it looks like, yep, he's just going to get up there, brush the wall, and lock it down below the racing surface. Get that Ford Fusion straightened out, refired, and going. Once again, not tripping a caution, so great job there. But unfortunately, that will cost him the lead. As we see the 28 there get a piece of the wall coming out of turn 4, so give the lead over to the 10 of Ken Richardson, as he's got a 1.6 second lead over the 71 of Keith Nelson, as we are 11 laps to go here at Michigan International Speedway with the Mr. Shift Racing League. Right now we're watching the battle for 8th position. This is between the 66 of Sean Meyer and the 70 of Mike Donahue. Mike's trying to take that 8th spot away from the 66, but does not appear he is able to do so. Meanwhile, we've got a battle going on right now for 3rd spot as Mike Major motors past the 37 of Eric Essery, so that'll put Mike Major up to 3rd, and the 37 of Eric Essery back to 4th spot. The laps are winding down here. Right now we're seeing that 2 car. He's got a 4.5, and it looks like he's closing the gap on these guys, so look for that 2 car here, as we've got 8 laps remaining. I don't think we've seen the last of Mike yet, as he's still closing the gap on the 71 of Keith Nelson. So I'm going to turn our attention to that number 2 car here. He's only got about 5/10 of about a half a second he has to make up to get 2nd spot from the 71 of Keith Nelson. And right now Mike is just driving away from that 37 car, as we now have 7 laps to go here. Mike is on track already for a podium finish, but he's looking to advance it further up from a 3rd to a 2nd and possibly a 1st, because he is still pulling time on the 71 here.
A battle back here for 7th position. 66 is trying to take over that 3 car of David May, but did not quite get in there and get the pass. Dropped way back off.
We're going to go in cockpit here with the number 2 car, and that car right there in front of him is the 71 of Keith Nelson. It'll be 5 laps to go here. Does Mike have enough to run down that 71? And you can see way up there in the distance, that is your race leader, the 10 of Ken Richardson, as he's got a 4.9, now a 5.1 second gap over that 71 machine. As we see, Mike is just absolutely reeling in that 71 machine.
So the 66 of Shane Muir has finally gotten around the 3 car of David May. So he's going to set his sights on the 94 of Kevin Fetty.
Could you possibly butcher that anymore? It's Sean Meyer. Oh, so Mike had to pedal it out there to keep it off the wall, but did not really lose any time. As we see, it looks like the 71 just doesn't have the speed in the corners because Mike really seems to pull in on that. And you can hear right there those chunks of rubber getting kicked up by these tires here. So it'll be 3 laps to go at the line. Right now we are riding along with the 3rd place car, the number 2 of Mike Major, as he is trying to make the pass to get up to the rear bumper. Oh, ooh, he got a little bit loose there. He's trying to get up to the back bumper of that 71 of Keith Nelson and take 2nd spot away here before we put this race in the books. As we go back to an external view here, we can see that Mike has caught up significantly to the 71 cars. Now he is only 8/10 behind. It'll be 2 laps to go this time by at the line for the 10 of Ken Richardson. Once again, he was our segment 1 winner. The 09 was our segment 2 winner, and now Ken Richardson is looking to not only win segment 3 but win the race here. So Mike's got 8 more corners here to try and make it around the 71. Meanwhile, Ken Richardson has a 6.2 second gap, and the race is on as Mike has got full draft. He is on the rear bumper of the 71. He's going to look to the inside as they go down into turn 3 here. Let's see if Mike can make the pass stick here and take 2nd spot away from the 71, as he is able to do so as they come out of 4. So hand 2nd spot over to the number 2 of Mike Major. White flag is out. 4 more corners. Right now it is Ken Richardson's race to lose, as he's got a 5.8 second gap over the 2 car. Let's see if Keith has anything here for the 2. We know the 10 has got this one in the books unless he gets loose and loops it. So this right here is going to be the battle right here, as we see Mike has been able to open that gap up to about a 3 or 4 car length as they go into 3 for the final time. They're going to come out of turn 4 here. So Ken Richardson takes the checker flag. The 10 will be your winner. Mike Major is going to come home 2nd, and the 71 of Keith Nelson will be your 3rd place finisher. So amazing drive there by the 2 car of Mike Major in his debut race here with the Mr. Shift Racing League. Saying that he was going to be one of the slowest cars and drive like shit, that's not exactly what he did. He just pulled off a 2nd place finish here in a car that he hasn't driven in 2 years on a non-plate track. So that right there was an excellent piece of racing by the 10 machine. He's won segment 1, and ultimately he's going to bring home the checkered flag here. And while we wait, because right now we only have the 10 in TeamSpeak here, and Mike is in our TeamSpeak, so it's going to complicate things a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and go through the results before we get the interviews here underway. So tonight here at Michigan International, winning not only stage 1, but winning the last stage and the race, we have the 10 of Ken Richardson coming home in 2nd, the 2 of Mike Major with his first career start here for Mr. Shift. The 71 of Keith Nelson will bring it home 3rd. Eric Essery in the 37 will bring it home 4th. Caleb Thompson in that 42 will bring it home 5th. The 66 of Sean Meyer 6th. Kevin Fetty in the 94 7th. David May in the 3 8th. Mike Donahue in the 79th. Matthew Edens in the 33 is going to round out the top 10. John Hinchcliffe in the 28 will be your 11th place finisher. Kevin Strandberg in the 58 12th. And Daniel Hill, our 2nd segment winner in the 09, will round out the field in 13th. So right now we have 3rd and 1st over in this TeamSpeak. So Alan, why don't you go ahead and bring in Keith and get 3rd place underway, because I know we're going to have to switch over to our TeamSpeak to get Mike. Oh, and apparently we don't have permissions to move people. Let's see if I can do it.
Actually, guys, I can't. I don't know what's going on. But I can move people if you want me to. Nah, it's telling me insufficient permissions. If you guys want to move down to default, we can do that.
Yeah, we'll just do that.
I'll get this sorted out before next week.
That's ready.
Oh, I love the segment racing. Yeah, Mike was definitely coming up on me, but I wasn't paying attention too close to fuel strategy, and I was short about 2 laps at the 10 lap point, so I was in major fuel conservation mode. I just want to thank the league, and hopefully we can continue to push for new members and grow the field. It's a lot more enjoyable when you're racing with a lot more cars. Hey, that's great to hear.
Oh, I think it's awesome. It's definitely adds some more strategy to it. I kind of screwed the second segment up and went a little too hard, but that's okay. That's the race that matters. But no, it really improves the racing, makes it a lot more interesting. Not for me. It just kept getting tighter and tighter for me all the longer we ran. But the key was you couldn't, if you overdrove the turns, then you'd use your tires pretty fast. And noticed a lot of guys were running a lot lower than I was running, and that's another key at Michigan is you can't run low. Well, Kevin and Mike for the league, sticking with the league. I mean, it's the summertime, so it's the numbers are down, and it's not a good time of the year, and you guys are sticking it out with us as well. I know some of the shows recently have been good, but I think with the stage racing, it's going to be a different story. It's a lot of fun, and anyway, we'll see how it goes going forward. Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to get better from here on out. Okay, see you guys. Have a good day.
Probably. Um, yeah, yeah. I ate some wall in there. I got a speeding penalty. It was yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I smacked the wall early on, and I think it was the second segment, and then I decided to short pit it, get the damage fixed, come back out. But me and being a dumbass, I hit the accelerator a little bit too hard, and just got a 57 in a 55. The cop was just sitting there with his radar gun, zapped me.
Well,
15-second hold.
definitely a strong showing, though, for your first race with the league and the first time that you've run these cars not on a plate track in, what, a couple of years?
The last time I think I ran it was 2 years at Watkins Glen.
Well, it definitely didn't look like that because you ripped off a second place finish, which the only thing that tops it is Robert with Roaring Thunder coming out and winning his debut race. So definitely a strong showing. I knew you were going to do it because I know your driving style. Me and you were too much alike. It's freaking scary. I made that completely clear in the broadcast that we've come to agreement that our parents must have been prostitutes or whatever, and we came from the same seed. But I knew you were going to make a drive up to the front.
We're twinsies.
Definitely though. But second place, is there anybody you'd like to thank?
Oh, I gotta thank you, Arturo, and I gotta thank Steve
bastard.
Over there. I gotta thank the guys at Mr. Shift. That was a fun race. A lot of clean racing. It's a good league. Congrats to Ken. He was by far the best car out there. No one, I couldn't even remotely keep up with him. He had the line, he had everything. It was it was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, hopefully you can make it back for next week and have equally good showing.
Oh, if they run Sonoma, I'll be there.
All right. Well, if that's the case, then we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
All right, Alan. Great race tonight. Any final words before we send this one off?
And again, it is summertime, so numbers are down. Racing's great for the guys that are showing up week in and week out. Thank you to them. Makes our job a little easier when we have a little more cars to cover. And it's kind of a double-edged sword because it gives us more cars to cover and watch. But, as things start to catch on here a little bit more and people realize they're doing segment racing and, once summer winds down, I think we're going to see some really exciting stuff from these guys.
And I just want to throw a big thank you out to both Kevin Fetty and Mike Donahue for having us be part of this amazing league. Even though, like you said, the numbers are down, that's that way all across the board. It doesn't matter what league you're in. When summertime comes around, you magically gain a social life and you pry your ass out of the race seat and you go out and do the family thing. But when fall and winter comes back around, we'll see probably almost 43 car fields with this particular league with the way that they're running now with segments. But once again, a special shout out to Kevin and Mike for making this all possible, putting the league on, and most importantly, paying us to come out here and broadcast the races, because all this directly comes out of the league owners' pockets. It's not cheap. I know we've mentioned this many times back when we were covering the Cyber Racing Association K&N series. There's a lot of money that gets tied up into not only owning the league, hosting all the sessions, paying broadcasts, prize money, all that stuff. All that comes out of the league owners' own personal money. So hats off to them for keeping the league alive. And I believe, if I'm correct, wasn't it us that brought up the idea of segment racing? And I think it was us that mentioned that, and they tried it out, and they've had great success with it so far. And hopefully, the rest of the season, it's just going to continue on an upward climb, as we saw a great race here tonight, and I'm really looking forward to next week now.
Yeah, and these guys, most of the leagues that we cover are free to join leagues, so all that money does come back out of league owners' pockets. Some of the drivers, most of the drivers that run in these free to drive leagues, tend to donate their money back into the league so they can keep racing. So hats off to all those guys, for keeping everything running.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us tonight here at Michigan Speedway. For everybody at Mr. Shift Racing and DieHard Live TV, I hope you guys have enjoyed the broadcast, and we will see you guys next week.